The LEEP partnership work in 4 pillars. The first is training to improve capacity of actors. The second is promoting knowledge translation, recognizing that in each ecosystem we have an important quantity of knowledge available. The third pillar is promoting learning by developing community of practice. And the last pillar is working on uh, put instruments to a better institutionalization of evidence use in national ecosystems.
The partnership also tries to reach some kind of cross-fertilization between Anglophone and Francophone African countries. And we realize that this is really often not done. I mean, it's not obviously because of language barriers and because of the very different political contexts in which those different actors are operating. But actually, this is like a special endeavor in this regard because it tries to bring really, the think tanks, research institutes from the different sub-regions together, from the Anglophone parts and the Francophone parts, in order to see, lessons learned, to share experiences when it comes to influencing policymaking. I mean, this is of course also a bit challenging because the different sub-regions, they do face very different realities on the ground, and certainly the political culture is also different when it comes to like evidence uptake on the side of policymakers. But we're realizing, like after year one, that nevertheless there is a lot of value in coming together and sharing experiences.
We have identified bottlenecks through the ecosystem through the evidence ecosystem, and our strategy is seeing how to ameliorate many things related to make the evidence ecosystem work. And some results are on process, some interesting results, and we hope that by the end of 2025 we will come up with with real changes through evidence ecosystems on the countries we are working on.
The partnerships bring together regional hubs in Francophone and Anglophone area and partners at national levels who play a different role in the evidence policy system to create equitable and gender transformative policy, while also working on institutionalizing the use of data for informed decision making and sustainable development. LEEPS exemplify a functioning evidence ecosystem by fostering collaboration between actors, between us, between policymakers and researchers, with a strong focus on co-creating activities that align with national needs. It's the best way to catalyze evidence ecosystems. And this on-demand approach, driven by mapping, participative mapping, ensure that support is more contextualized and relevant for actors.
When we talk about the national statistics ecosystem, national data ecosystem, there is a community of practitioners which include the National Statistic Institution and the ministries and other government institutions. They work together, and what we have seen is that they don't automatically think of collaborating with the civic society. So with the private sector, or in terms of In terms of data production, everybody produce data. So we have come out to make them think of opening their community, opening their organization, and welcoming the civic society and every development actor which produce data. And we are seeing how to materialize that in terms of public law and in terms of structuralization of the ecosystem.
So first of all, they're trying to also somehow change the political culture of policymakers in their countries in order for them to be open to receive evidence from the different actors. So this is extremely challenging, also depending on the political context. And sadly, as you all know, many African countries are witnessing a closure a bit of political space, and this is quite an issue, of course. But so they're trying, but that's why it's still too early to really say, well, this was a very successful. What we're seeing is, for sure, there is a lot of, because our partners, they carried out mappings again of the ecosystems in different countries, African countries, and we're seeing a lot of demand really for capacity building for different think tanks and research centers in different areas. A lot of demand for networking, a lot of like there is really a desire to learn more, to look into how can they really be effective in bringing their findings to the policymaking arenas.
I have appreciated the efforts that we are putting in, particularly in terms of gender equity, because I think sometimes it's not given the attention that it deserves. So quite often in some projects, it's like if it's not given the priority that it deserves. I think the starting point has been great in terms of engaging people, engaging policymakers, because they are the key in terms of what kind of policies do you make. They are very key. They are very influential. So if they are not converted, then it doesn't make sense. So given that we are in evidence-informed policymaking, and it's about really people, which kind of people are in these circles. So if the people do not appreciate the gender aspect, then it becomes impossible. It will always be something that is pushed onto the margins. And for me, if we target the policymakers with this kind of information, if we target them to change their mindset, it becomes very important for us in terms of what kind of policies, what kind of mindset do they have even to implement the policies. Maybe you have done a lot of gender trainings, but you still face challenges. You still have people who are resisting. But I think for me, targeting those high-level policymakers in the different ministries has been a great milestone. The aspect of seeing the participants picking gender equity as an important part of their research question, their research agenda, and in terms of how they now were trying to synthesize the data, it made me proud that they were able to appreciate it. I think the beauty with this is that we are working together closely and making sure that what each partner is doing, we are part of it.